Imagine transforming a mundane cucumber into a zesty, crunchy marvel in less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite show. That, my friends, is the culinary magic of quick pickling. This isn't your great-grandmother's week-long canning project, bubbling away in a dark cellar. We're talking about a rapid infusion of flavor, a method that can take a vegetable from bland to brilliant in as little as 15 minutes. It's a kitchen superpower that allows you to add a burst of acidic brightness to practically any meal, turning ordinary dishes into something truly special with minimal effort and maximum impact. The versatility here is astounding, limited only by your imagination and the contents of your crisper drawer. So what exactly is this sorcery I speak of? Quick pickling, also known as refrigerator pickling, is a method that uses a vinegar-based brine to preserve and flavor produce. Now it's crucial to understand how this differs from traditional fermentation. Fermentation is a long, slow biological process where beneficial bacteria break down sugars, creating lactic acid, which preserves the food and gives it that classic sour tang. Quick pickling, on the other hand, is a chemical shortcut. We skip the lengthy fermentation and go straight to the acid, using vinegar to do the heavy lifting. It's about speed and convenience, not about creating a shelf-stable product for the apocalypse. These pickles live in your fridge, not your pantry. The fundamental science behind this process is beautifully simple. The hot, acidic brine works to break down the cell walls of the vegetables or fruits, allowing them to absorb the surrounding flavors rapidly. This action tenderizes the produce while infusing it with that signature tangy punch. Because we are bypassing the fermentation process, we don't cultivate the same complex, funky flavors you might find in a traditional deli pickle. Instead, we achieve a crisp, clean, and vibrant pickle that highlights the fresh character of the produce itself, enhanced by the specific aromatics you choose to introduce. It's a different beast entirely, but a delicious one nonetheless. This technique is the ultimate answer for the modern cook who craves homemade flavor without the commitment of a major preservation project. Have a handful of radishes or a lonely red onion? In minutes, they can become a gourmet condiment. It's a way to reduce food waste, elevate your everyday meals, and impress your dinner guests with what appears to be a sophisticated culinary skill. But the secret is, it's one of the easiest tricks in the book. The result is a pickle that's bright, snappy, and ready to eat almost immediately, offering instant gratification for your taste buds. Every great potion begins with a precise formula, and a quick pickle brine is no different. At its core, the brine is a trinity of pantry staples: vinegar, salt, and sugar. These three ingredients work in harmony to create the perfect pickling environment. The star of the show, of course, is the vinegar. Its acidity is what performs the pickling action and provides the primary tangy flavor. But not just any vinegar will do. For the cleanest, most versatile flavor, you'll want a vinegar with a 5 to 6% acidity level. Distilled white vinegar is a fantastic neutral workhorse, but white wine or apple cider vinegar can introduce subtle, complementary notes. Next up is salt, the essential sidekick. Salt does more than just make things taste salty. It plays a critical scientific role by drawing moisture out of the vegetable cells, which helps them stay crisp and allows the brine to penetrate more effectively. However, your choice of salt matters immensely. Avoid standard table salt, as its anti-caking agents can create a cloudy, murky brine. Instead, reach for kosher salt or canning salt. A word of caution: different brands of kosher salt have different crystal sizes. My go-to master ratio is 3/4 of a cup of vinegar to 1/2 teaspoon of Diamond Crystal kosher salt. If you're using Morton kosher salt, which is denser, you'll want to reduce that to 1/4 teaspoon. Then we have sugar, the peacemaker of the brine. While technically optional, a little bit of sugar is highly recommended to balance the sharp, aggressive bite of the vinegar. We aren't making candy here. The goal is not to create a sweet pickle, unless that's what you're after. A small amount, say 1/2 teaspoon of granulated sugar for that 3/4 cup of vinegar, is just enough to round out the flavors and create a more harmonious and palatable brine. It mellows the acidity without masking it, letting the true character of the vinegar and your chosen produce shine through. Finally, let's talk about water. Sometimes you might want to dilute your brine, especially if you're pickling very dense or fibrous vegetables. You can add water up to a 50% ratio, but proceed with caution. For vegetables with high water content like cucumbers or cabbage, adding extra water is a bad idea. These vegetables will release their own liquid into the jar, naturally diluting the brine. Adding more water from the start can weaken the brine to a point where it's no longer effective. The key is to know your produce and adjust your liquid ratios accordingly for the best possible texture and flavor. Once you have your brine components assembled, it's time to introduce the aromatics. This is where you, the culinary artist, get to play. Aromatics are the supporting cast that can elevate your pickles from simply tangy to truly complex and memorable. Think of them as flavor boosters that infuse the brine and consequently your produce. For a classic dill pickle flavor with cucumbers, a smashed clove of garlic and a few sprigs of fresh dill are non-negotiable. Pickling red onions for tacos? A few black peppercorns and a bay leaf will add a wonderful savory depth. The possibilities are nearly infinite. You can experiment with whole spices like mustard seeds, coriander seeds, or caraway seeds for cabbage. A slice of jalapeno or a pinch of red pepper flakes can add a welcome kick of heat. Fresh herbs like thyme or rosemary can impart an earthy, rustic flavor that works beautifully with carrots or cauliflower. The trick is to choose aromatics that complement the main ingredient. Don't be afraid to mix and match. A small strip of lemon peel can brighten up pickled asparagus, while a star anise pod can give pickled peaches an exotic, warm spice note. This is your chance to customize. With your ingredients chosen, the preparation process is straightforward. First, prepare your produce. Slice your vegetables into uniform shapes, thin rounds for cucumbers, slivers for onions, or florets for cauliflower. Uniformity is key for even pickling. Pack them snugly into a clean, non-reactive container. A glass jar like a mason jar is the perfect vessel. Avoid metal bowls, as the high acidity of the brine can react with the metal and impart a nasty metallic taste. Plastic containers are also less than ideal, as they can absorb the pungent smells and flavors of your pickle creation. Now for the final crucial step. Combine your vinegar, salt, sugar, and any whole spice aromatics in a small saucepan. Bring this mixture to a rolling boil over medium-high heat, stirring until the salt and sugar have completely dissolved. Boiling is essential as it ensures the brine is homogeneous and helps jump-start the pickling process. Carefully pour the hot brine directly over the vegetables in your jar, making sure they are fully submerged. If you're using fresh herbs like dill, add them now. Let the jar sit at room temperature for at least 15 to 30 minutes, and just like that, you have quick pickles. The beauty of quick pickles lies in their immediacy. While they are technically ready to eat in as little as 15 minutes, allowing them to sit a bit longer will only deepen the flavor. After about 30 minutes at room temperature, the initial pickling is done. At this point, you should cover your container and move it to the refrigerator. The pickles will continue to marinate and develop more flavor as they chill. While they are delicious right away, I find they hit their peak after a few hours or even overnight in the fridge. Properly stored in a sealed container in the refrigerator, your quick pickles will remain crisp and delicious for up to 2 weeks. The range of produce that you can subject to this delightful process is incredibly broad. We've talked about the classics: cucumbers, red onions, cabbage, and carrots, but don't stop there. Think about jalapenos for a spicy kick, cauliflower or broccoli florets for a crunchy snack, or even cherry tomatoes that burst with tangy juice. Green beans, asparagus, radishes, and bell peppers all take beautifully to a quick pickle brine. This technique isn't limited to vegetables either. Fruits can be a revelation. Try quick pickling strawberries, peaches, or cherries for a surprising sweet and sour element in salads or desserts. Once you have a jar of these vibrant gems in your fridge, their culinary applications are endless. Scatter pickled red onions over tacos, salads, or avocado toast for a pop of color and acidity. Add chopped pickled carrots and daikon to a banh mi sandwich. Serve a medley of pickled cauliflower and green beans on a charcuterie board, or alongside a rich, creamy hummus. They can cut through the richness of grilled meats, brighten up a grain bowl, or become the star condiment on your next burger or hot dog. In essence, quick pickling is more than just a recipe. It's a technique that empowers you to transform simple ingredients into something extraordinary. It's a fast, easy, and endlessly creative way to add complexity, balance, and a professional touch to your home cooking. By mastering the basic brine and understanding the simple science at play, you unlock a world of flavor. So go forth, grab a jar, and start pickling. Your taste buds and your dinner guests will thank you for it. It's an indispensable tool for any modern kitchen. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for World Up, your go-to source for content that brings the world to you.